GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Welcome to yet another episode of The Grind with me, your host, Hibak Said. This week we're going to be tackling a topic that's close to many hearts, money. But we're not just talking about the numbers in your bank accounts, we're going to be talking about savings. What exactly is the saving culture here in the country, considering we're in an economic downturn? Before we go to our entrepreneurs and our expert of the week, let's take a look at the market margin so that we get all the numbers. Saving culture is still quite low, averaging at around 12% compared to the African average of around 17%. This is despite Kenya being a regional and continental leader in many aspects. This ongoing trend is attributed to a growing spending power pushed by international trends. It may also be pushed by other factors such as low financial education and the growing rates of poverty and unemployment rates. Kenya has alarmingly low financial literacy levels. With a population of around 50 million people, only 38% of Kenyans are financially literate. This is a lower average than Tanzania at 40% and South Africa at 50%. Clearly, the Kenyan youth have not fully adopted a saving culture with such a chronic low saving rate, but how are businesses faring on in this respect? From our market margins, we're just going to be asking a couple of people and entrepreneurs what their saving culture is. Tutaanza kwa kujitambulisha. Kwa majina, unaitwa nani? Wewe una save?
Wanga na save na family bank.
Na umepata ni nini hiyo ndio inakufanya una save? Motivation yako ni gani?
Motivation yangu ni kulingana na goal yangu venye nataka kutarget. Sasa inaweza kuwa niko na mtoto, sasa niko na mtoto wa class 8. Na sijui pale ataitwa. Labda anaweza itwa alliance ama pale nyingine. Sasa nikisave naona hiyo pesa itakuja kunisaidia baadaye.
Asante sana. As we go to our second entrepreneur. Unaweza anza kwa kujitambulisha, unaitwa nani? Umefanya hii biashara kwa miaka ngapi?
Nimefanya hii biashara kwa miaka 4 sasa.
Na huwa una save, huwa unaweka pesa kando?
Mimi na save kwa kuna chama niko nayo. Unapelekaga pesa, unaweka pesa. Alafu mwisho wa mwaka mnagawa kama mama.
Na kwa nini una save? Unaona utafanya nini hiyo pesa?
Una save juu hii pesa ya biashara unafanyia kazi, unapata imeisha. Sasa unajua ukiweka mahali at least the end of the year utakuwa uko na kitu umesave na kuna pesa at least utapata kwa hiyo biashara yako. Unajua ukifanya hii biashara unakura, unanunua hii at the end of the day unapata hauna kitu. Lakini ukisave mwisho wa mwaka utapata kitu na utaona faida ya biashara yako.
Sasa huu unafikiria maybe malipo yako ya uzeeni, retirement, huu ukisave unawekanga kando kidogo ya retirement?
Hiyo sasa hiyo kwa hiyo chama tuna save haikuagi na malipo ya uzeeni. Inakuwa tu una save tu at the end of the year unapata chenye umekuwa ukiweka.
Na kwa wanabiashara wenye wanakuangalia sasa, wenye wanakuwatch sasa, unaweza kuwaambia nini ama unaweza kuwapatia himizo gani?
Save kuna faida juu kuri pesa ya kazi yote. Hiyo una save ndio unaona kama ni mshahara yako. Mwisho wa mwaka.
Still on the savings aspect, we're still asking questions. We want to know what Kenyans think about saving. Do they save? Unaweza anza kwanza kwa kujitambulisha. What is your name? Do you actually save?
My name is Michael Bisharu from Kiambu. I'm a motor driver. We are do saving now. Lakini sasa kuna shida. Tukisave kuna ile percent ya government inachukua. Sasa ndio shida inatufanya tushinda kusave. Sasa tuna afadhali tuwe kwa nyumba.
So huwa
shida nyingine hiyo savings ilikuwa inasaidia kitambo, lakini wakati ile gava ingilia, saa shida inaingilia hapo, watu wengi watashindwa kusave.
So niko na swali moja, huo una save na huo unaweka wapi hizo pesa?
Na save kwa equity, lakini ile ya equity iliingia, sasa ndio ile percent ya 18%, hiyo iko na shida sasa. Watu wengi hatakuwa na save kwa bank, watakuwa naweka nyumbani ama napatia mtu kaa wewe anakuwekea. Sasa gava hiyo tax yao lazima punguze. Ina press watu sana.
Acha tuongelee saving culture yako. Penye huo unaweka pesa ngapi kwa siku? Huo unaweka goal ya pesa ngapi?
200. Tunakonga na rotating circle. Leo niwe nakula, kuna kesho kuna mwingine anapewa hiyo. Sasa hiyo haingii kwa government. Sasa wenyewe tuko watu 15. Yako hiyo ni tax free. Lakini ni kitu hauwezi kuipata baada ya kuwa kwa banka. Kama uko na function, pengine uko na wedding, pengine uko na boy wako anaenda kutahiri Kikikuyu, tunakuja tunanunua mbuzi, tunakuja tunamuona.
Kwa hiyo
sasa shida inaingia kwa ile tax ya gava, hiyo inatufunya sana.
Sawa. Kwa hiyo group yenu huwa mkisave hivyo, ukikosa hiyo 200 yenye unaweka kila siku, huwa mnafanya nini?
Tunapiga mtu fine.
So fine inakuanga pesa ngapi, na wewe umaikosa kuweka hiyo pesa na hiyo fine huwa inakufinya?
Inafinya kwa sababu tuna ile time tunakuwa kwa hiyo mkutano. Sasa next time ukichapo hiyo, next time utakuwa number 1 kuingia. Tumeshapanga time kani 11 ni 11. Dakika moja tu kishapita ndio hiyo. Na unaonekana hapo. Dakika moja tu kipita hiyo ni fine. Na lateness na failing to attend bado kuna ile fine. Lateness na failing to attend bado kuna ile fine.
Na sasa huo unafikiria maybe ukiage ama ukizeeka, huo unaweka pesa zako za retirement ama plan yako ni gani?
Hatufikiria mambo hiyo kwa sababu kuna ile ilikuwa ya mbao kai. Nakumbuka ile ya mbao ya gava. Hatujui mahali iliko ilienda, hatujui account ilienda wapi. Nikaa tu ya housing, hatujui iko kwenda kusave. Sasa kwenda kusave. So tano. Simeka to 18%. Utakuwa umesave pesa ngapi? Na wakati auweki, unaona? Account yako itakuwa dormant. Sasa gava lazima ifikirie mambo ya vijana.
Thank you so much. And word on the street is that people are willing to save. The culture could be there. However, there is a small problem, especially when it comes to finding places that they could save. SACCOs is one of the options. We will keep on taking opinions to see what exactly is happening and how people are saving. Unafanya biashara gani na mbona huwa una save?
Mimi nauza smoky na mayai. Na nasivigi juu sijui kesho. Naweza amka nijipate nahitaji do. Nasitaki kuomba.
Na huo una save wapi? Unaweka kwa bank, una save na SACCO, unaweka kwa M-Pesa? Culture yako ni gani?
Mimi naweka na locked. Na bado niko na pochi la biashara. Watu wengine wasema ni biashara lakini mimi na saving nasema naweka 100 daily.
Na hiyo savings ukishapata hiyo savings, so unafanyia nini? Unaziweka wapi?
Nakonga na project zangu. Kana nafanya laundry. Sasa mimi niweka do sana. Sasa hizi niko na business ya kupunguza viatu na kuuza socks. Na siviaga juro tu biashara dogo. Unajua hapa, unajua smoky lazima niuze daily. Lazima nikae hapa ili niuze. Lakini business ya viatu si lazima nikuwe hapo ili niane. Hiyo ndio nafanya gani save. Na mimi tuseme na saving 100 daily. Hata si pesa nyingi. 100 tu. Sina gari nyingine.
Na watu huwa wako na short term goals na long term goals. Of course kuna vitu zenye unataka kufanya in like 1 year na vitu zenye ni long term. Wewe huo una categorize aje?
Nataka hizo long term, lakini sasa nafanya hizo short term ili zikuwe nyingi nione kama zinaweza nipea moja long term.
So what are some of your short term goals? Wewe unaziweka pesa ngapi hivi?
Hizo short term. Short term hata naweza kia 70. Niko na nyumba, hiyo nyumba ndio nisumbua je, sina shamba yangu. Hiyo ni kaka 300 daily. Niko na vitu kama shop ya nyumba, niko na mkidi. Sina long term yenye nataka, lakini ikijipa ndaingia. Nikiweza pata do nyingi. ni vile size deishika.
Na wewe unaona savings iko na benefits gani kwa maisha yako?
Sikuwa biashara pekee yake, pia kwangu inanisaidia. Unakumbuka time corona ile kama unajua nilikuwa makanga, hiyo time tulifukuzwa kazi juu mat zile have ku drop makanga ili ikuwe na beba, silikuwa na beba watu na keep distance. Sasa nilikuwa siko wera, unajua time nilikuwa na safa na stay kurudi kwa madhi ati je nafungiwa nyumba. Hivyo mimi ni save ili sijui kesho namkaa ikiwa mbaya au mzuri. Nikiweza mkaa nikiwa na do nyingi na ni mzuri, unajua mimi ndaekelea tu kabiashara hata kani kadogo.
Na economy huwa ina change over time. Kuna time kama ile ya corona umesema kulikuwa na kashida fulani, but then kuna saa hii imeanza kurudi. Wewe sasa huo una change aje savings yako?
Savings yangu nikiuza sana naongeza kitu. Nikiuza kiasi na save kiasi. Lakini si ati ndakaza kusave. Nikiingia hela nimeingia, hata kama ni chwani bora nimeweka do. Sina savings nyingine ati ya bank. Niko na ya bank of which tunaweka tukiwa watu 6. Tuko na chama.
Unaweza kutuambia kuhusu hiyo chama, nyinyi kama watu wa 6 au mnatumia hiyo pesa aje?
Tuko kama boys tunaweka hiyo do, tunaweka 100 daily. Kila wiki kuna mmoja anapewa do. Kwa hivyo ndakula pesa yangu after 6 weeks. Hiyo pesa naweza fikiria nipeleke kwa bank ama naweza fikiria nifanye kitu. Naweza fikiria nilipe keda, naweza fikiria nipanue, lakini mara nyingi ni uchukua 10% na nipeleka kwa bank. Mimi sina gitach.
Na kwa youth wenye wanakuwatch sasa, maybe wanafikiria vile wanaweza save, unaweza advice?
Hata ambao ni pesa ya kusave. Wala. Mbao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana. Kwa hivyo usianze kusema utaanza kusave ile wakati utapata kazi na kupedo nyingi, uongo, utasave, utatumia yote. Sasa hizi vinyo unapata hiyo mbao unasunda. Hiyo time ndio utapata, hata ukipata hiyo kazi ya pesa nyingi, unapata uko niyo moral ya kuweka, unajua utambile do. Mimi wanaweza tu waambia.
As you've heard from different Kenyans, different entrepreneurs, everyone has their own saving culture. People
na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi aina mbalimbali.
Nikuwe na Nisani kama 10 na pia nikuwe menua minibus. Minibus niko niwa.
Kushinda unaangalia simu ya mzee. Soma Biblia ama ingia kwa washroom ujisugue. Mpaka nimetoa hivi.
I don't know whether any of my children would want to get into the political field. Sijajua bado.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30 kuendelea.
Welcome back to The Grind from that very short break. Do you remember we're talking about savings? What is the saving culture for a lot of Kenyans? We will be delving into business capital now because we have heard what our entrepreneurs and of course the comments of various Kenyans, and then later we're going to be having our expert of the week. So how could you start or adopt a saving culture for yourself? Here are a few tips to guide you. 1. Record your expenses. The first step to start saving money is figuring out how much you spend. Keep track of all your expenses. That means every coffee, household item, and cash tip, as well as regular monthly bills. Record your expenses however is easiest for you. A pencil and a paper, a simple spreadsheet, or a free online spending tracker or app. Once you have your data, organize the numbers by categories, such as fuel, groceries, and mortgage, and total each amount. Use your credit card and bank statements to make sure you've included everything. 2. Include saving in your budget. Now that you know what you spend in a month, you can begin to create a budget. Your budget should show what your expenses are relative to your income so that you can plan your spending and limit overspending. Be sure to factor in expenses that occur regularly but not every month, such as car maintenance. Include a savings category in your budget and aim to save an amount that initially feels comfortable for you. Plan on eventually increasing your savings by up to 15 to 20% of your income. Find ways to cut spendings. If you can't save as much as you'd like, it might be time to cut back on expenses. Identify non-essentials such as entertainment and dining out that you can spend less on. Look for ways to save on your fixed monthly expenses, such as your car insurance or cell phone plan as well. You could also review your recurrent spendings to cut back on unnecessary costs or revert to low-cost entertainment options. Set saving goals. One of the best ways to save money is to set a goal. Start by thinking about what you might want to save for, both in the short term, which is 1 to 3 years, and the long term, which is 4 or more years. Then estimate how much money you'll need and how long it might take for you to save it. Determine your financial priorities. After your expenses and income, your goals are likely to have the biggest impact on how you allocate your savings. For example, if you know you're going to need to replace your car in the near future, you could start putting away money for one now. But be sure to remember long-term goals. It is important that planning for retirement doesn't take a backseat to shorter-term needs. Learning how to prioritize your savings can give you a clear idea of how to allocate your savings. Make saving automatic. Almost all banks offer automated transfers between your checking and savings accounts. You can choose when, how much, and where to transfer money, or even split your direct deposit so that a portion of every paycheck goes directly into your savings account. The advantage, you don't have to think about it and you're less likely to spend the money instead. And right from Business Capital, we're going to be engaging our expert of the week on the saving culture. Of course, we have seen what different people have been saying about their savings. We do know what the statistics are, but what do our experts have to say? Kanza, you can start first by introducing yourself. What exactly is it about the saving culture in the Kenyan context that makes it so difficult for Kenyans to save?
All right, so thank you so much for inviting us to the show. My name is Kanza Musyoka. I work for ICA Lion Group, particularly in the asset management business as a general manager, business development and client relations. So let's just jump right into it about the savings culture. Why are we finding it difficult? I think first to say it's just nature. You know, as we grow, as we are being raised by our parents in our society, I think we are so used to consuming. That when we need to hold back a bit, we really have to work against our human nature to want to consume. First, then also we must understand also times have changed. You know, before you had to leave your house to spend. Now just seated in your house with your phone, you can easily purchase 10 things in less than 5 minutes. So also the world has changed, that has made it very hard for us to save, and we end up consuming more. Yeah.
Now, of course, there are things that could be encouraging people to save. The Kenyan average is a bit low, considering that, you know, in the African context, people are not majorly big on saving if you compare it to the European context. But the Kenyan average is around 38%. Why do you think this is, and what are some of the benefits that people can accrue from saving?
All right, so let's understand also from a cultural perspective, the developed worlds have gone through their own journey. Their financial markets have developed over time. While Kenya, we are still a young market by any aspect. If I look at my parents were raised in the village and they came to the city in their adult age and they started making things work. So we are the generation that actually is in this space where we are really thinking about our savings and about money matters, unlike our parents. Because when our parents came to Nairobi, it was let's get a job, we survive, we have a house, we educate our kids. That was their agenda then, as parents and as leaders in their family. But with us now, we've been forced to start thinking differently. Remember, our parents, retirement was not something that was new to them. Retirement planning was new to them. So many of us, we tend to be taking care of our parents. But for our generation, things are going to change. We have to start saving now so that we can take care of our older selves. So we also just must appreciate that in Africa and in Kenya, where we are in the journey, it's a journey of growing to be able to understand how to take care of our finances. Yeah.
Now, a lot of Kenyans, from the questions that we have been asking people, do tend to veer towards the chama mentality, having a group or being in a group that holds you responsible when you're saving. What do you think about this?
Right, I think accountability is important with money. I think, and the chama has worked very well in our African context and Kenyan context because there's that group accountability. But I think many of us tend to then shy away or not try to build our own, can I say, our financial strength, our financial independence and financial stability as individuals. We tend to focus on, in the past, I think many people have focused on the group aspects, but now we also need to start asking ourselves, the chama has its own objectives. You as an individual, you have your own goals, and the chama may not be able to save and invest towards certain goals that you may have. So how then are you able as an individual to save for your financial goals?
When it comes to percentages, right? Say I get 100% every month, what percentage should I be saving? What is the responsible amount I should be saving? What should be the least amount I should be saving?
We usually advise about 25 to 30% should go towards your saving. And these savings are different goals. So you could be saving for short-term goals and long-term goals like retirement. So the whole amount of between 25 and 30% is going to be split to the different goals that you have. It's going to be a different conversation with somebody who doesn't have consistent income, because for them, I would advise, yes, when your income is low or no income at all, you may not be able to save. But for people who are, say, freelancers, when they'll get a boom in 1 out of 3 months, then take advantage of that and put maybe even 40% or even up to 50% towards saving, because then you know the rest of the months may be inconsistent.
Now, there is saving and there is investing. What exactly is the difference? Because a lot of people usually get it mixed up. And when should your savings go into investments?
So when it comes to money, and let's start, I like explaining it using such a simple process. We earn. From what we earn, we spend. If we have debts, we pay debts, and then we save. Yeah. Saving is just putting money aside. But investing is when you put your savings into an investment product that will grow. So the difference is saving is putting money aside, but investing is when that money grows. Because we know if you put 1,000, even let's say you put 1,000 in your drawer in January, come March or where we are in April, that 1,000 is not going to buy the same thing it bought in January, because inflation, where the prices of goods are always changing. So that's why we advise that don't put all your money in your accounts or wherever you're going to put it where it's not growing. You'd rather put it where it's growing so that you can be able to offset the effects of inflation.
And finally, Kanza, a lot of youth are watching you right now through the grind. What would you tell them? What advice would you give them? What tips would you give them to start saving?
Start where you are. Don't wait until you're in a comfortable position or when the income is at this level. It takes a while to get there, or it may never come. But with as little as you have, you can decide, let me put as little as 10%, and then you build on to 20 and 30 and higher as you wish. I know we are caught in the spin of instant gratification. But now this is where we have to ask ourselves, what do I want for my future you? You know, saving, my tip of saving is always ask yourself, what do I want for my future you? Because I'm never saving for somebody else. I'm saving for myself. And when you think about it that way, then maybe you may decide, okay, I have this money. I don't really need to spend all of it this month. I can put aside for my future self who wants to do X, Y, Z. So manage your saving. And that means looking at your expenses, and it means actually planning for your expenses.
Thank you so much, Kanza, for all those tips. And for all the viewers watching, knowledge is your best friend. You can use those tips to start a saving culture that could help you in the future. Always think about the future you, what you could be buying or what you could be investing for future use. Thank you so much for watching The Grind. You can interact with us on our social at TV47, or you can send us a text at 22047. My name is Hibak Saeed. Have yourselves a very lovely night.